This video goes along with 3-1.9. This has to do with finding equations with a scatter plot. First off, let's review what we've done already before. Let's see, move that out of the way. First off, the Y-intercept. I know the Y-intercept is going to have an X number of 0 because the Y is where the number is going to be. If I were you, I'd label X, then Y. Let's put a dot on the Y-intercept. Y-intercept is where it crosses the Y-axis. There's your big dot right there. There's your point, and it is 1, 2, 3. 0, 3. My X-intercept, well, there's going to be a number in the X, and in the Y there is 0. So I go on the X-axis right here, and I put a dot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is -6, 0. Now, for the slope of my line, I want you to look. This is from left to right. When you look at this, my line is increasing. It is going up. Now, you can start at the Y-intercept and work to find your slope that way. I'll do that in a minute. Or you can start at your X-intercept here, and let's go to my Y-intercept. How many up? I need to go up 1, 2, 3, up 3, and over 6. Remember, my slope is delta y over delta x. That would be 3 over 6, which reduces to 1/2. The other thing I could do, remember, or we could start the y-intercept here and go up 1 and over 1. Well, that's not quite on the line of my function. Up 1 and over 2. Put a dot. Oh, there it is. Up 1 and over 2. Up 1 and over 2. That's how I can check and make sure that I got the correct slope. And still, again, for others of you, you may want to build a table and put in the point 0, 3 and -6, 0 and find delta y over delta x. This right here, -3. This right here is +6. I have -3 over 6, which is -1/2. Again, this is still my slope, which is my m. Now remember, slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. Remember, where is it? M is the slope, b is the y-intercept. So I have y equals 1/2 x plus 3. And if you go in your calculator, let's see if I can pull that up here. No, that's not what I want. All right, let's see. I'm switching places here. All right, go in my calculator, and I put in there. Oh, how did I get negative here? Oh, I almost made another mistake. Let me go back. This should be -6, negative, and a negative divided by negative. This should be, oh, this should be +1/2. Okay, there we go. And the reason why I went backwards like that was because I went from the y-intercept and then I wrote the x-intercept. So just be careful like I did. I almost skipped over it, but my slope is supposed to be positive. But we would have figured that out when we went here and went to the calculator and put in there 1/2 x plus 3. And I press graph. See, because I'm going to match and make sure that my line is going up. If I messed up and maybe I thought it was negative, I would have put a negative in there and pressed graph, and I would have seen that it's going the wrong way. So then you can go in there and switch it around and get rid of that negative and press graph, and then see if your answer is now correct. Now I also want to point out, let's see, let me move my calculator out of the way. All right, if I go down here, what's another way I can write this equation besides 1/2 x plus 3? Yes, you can write it in function notation. F of x equals 1/2 x plus 3. What about another way? Can you think of that? Y equals, what could I do? You're right, I can put 3 plus 1/2 x. As long as the 1/2 is always with the x, because the slope has to go with the x. Next one. Okay, it says, given the point -6, -3, and 4, 7, find the slope containing these points. You can do this a couple of ways. One way, you could go in here and make a table, put in there -6, -3, and 4 and 7. Well, remember, slope is delta y over delta x. You can do it this way. And I would go and find delta y, the change in y right here, is plus 10. Delta x, that's plus 10. So I take 10 over 10, that gives you 1. So your slope, which is the same as the letter m, is 1. Well, what if we wanted to do it in a table? Maybe it'd be easier to do that. Negative 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and negative 3. I'll put a point there. And then 4, 7. Now, there's my 2 points. To figure out my slope from here, I'd start on the far left and I'd go to the right. First off, I would notice that it would make an increasing line, so I know that my slope's got to be positive. I would go up 10 and over, and I'd count the lines and be over 10. It would be the same thing, 10 over 10. You can find the slope either way. All right, now we've got the following data. We've got a scatter plot right here, and it wants us to put this in the calculator. Now this is going to be review from what we've done before. So let's see if I can go in here now. Let me find my calculator. And do you remember how to put this in? Yeah, press stat and enter. And you're going to put the first column into L1. So I'm going to put in there 2.5, enter, 1.5, enter, 1, enter, 20, 10, 5, 2.5, 1, 15, 4, and 5. Now you're going to put the next column right here into Y2. So I've got 10. Now I press that arrow button. You saw that to go over there? Enter. 6, enter. 4, 80, 40, 20, 10, 4, 60, 16, and 20. Okay, now to graph these, if I press graph, well, I see that line. I need to get that out of there. Let me clear it. I should have cleared my memory before I started. All right, I don't see anything. What do you need to turn on first? Yep, you need to go second y equals, enter, enter, turn your stat plot on. Well, now when I press graph, I see some of the dots, but why don't I see all of them? I need to change my window settings. Now, when I go to window, right now, it's just from negative 10 to 10. Well, look at this. In the x column, my biggest x is 20. So I need a number that's bigger than 20. I can go in there, maybe I'll put in there 21. X minimum, what's my smallest x number? My smallest one is 1. I don't need negative 10. I'm going to put 0 in there. Now, x scale, that's what your tick marks are. That means it goes by 1, 2, 3, like that. Let's look at my y's right here. What's the smallest y I have? 4. Well, let's go with a number smaller than that. I could leave it at negative 10, but I'm going to use the positives. X maximum, my largest x number, oh, it's 80 right there. So let's go with a one a little bit bigger, 81. Now let's press graph. There it is. There's my line. Okay. You can also, I'll go back and do this, but you could also, here's a trick too, press zoom. And if you go to, let's see, where is it? Zoom 9, which is zoom stat. So zoom 9, it'll also give you that without having to go through and do your table settings. See now, or window settings. Right now it gives me those numbers. All right, so with that being said, it says on here to fill out, let's see here. I've my x minimum. I've got negative 0.9. Oh, where'd it go? It's going to keep disappearing on me. Then my x maximum, 21.9. My x scale was 1. My y minimum, negative 8.92. You just have to write. As long, it's always going to be right, even if it's different numbers. Everybody can have different minimums and maximums as long as the points all fit in the graph. Okay, so there's my window settings. Now I also put in there though, let's see, I did x minimum the first time at 0 and x max at 21, that works too. Y min at 0 and Y max at 81. Both of those work. How did you determine your window settings? Well, I mean, again, you can tell that you pressed zoom 9, or you just look for the largest and the smallest numbers. What type of correlation exists for this? Well, when I press graph, what's happening? From left to right, it's going up. So that means that there is a positive correlation. Now, the next thing we have, it's going to ask us to find the equation that's going to actually go through these points right here. Okay? Now, it says to enter the linear parent function. This is why this is important. What is the linear parent function? Yes, it's y equals x. So let's go into the calculator right here, and let's go to y equals and put in there x, and let's press graph. Okay, the question now asks you, is this the best trend line? Does this line go through your points? Nope, it's not even close. So the first thing you're going to want to try and do, it says, is press y equals and change the y-intercept to fit the data. What is my y-intercept right here? What is it when you do the parent function? Well, it's starting at 0. So let's change here, and let's see. If I'm looking at this graph, let's try and move my y-intercept up. So let's go in there and put, I don't know, maybe +5. Press graph. Did that help any? No, not really. What if I made it, I don't know, +10? Oh, that really didn't help. Okay, so maybe it's not the y-intercept. Maybe we should try something else. Next it says change the slope. Well, let's see. When I look at this, is my dots, is that steeper or flatter than this line? Well, it's steeper. It's going up. Okay, so my slope is getting larger. So let's go in here, and I need, what is my slope right now? Well, my slope right now is 1. Let's try a number bigger. Let's try 5x. Now somebody will say, well, why are you choosing 5x? Well, I don't know. I'm just guessing. I'm just picking a number. So I press graph. Oh, well, it's close, but it still looks like it's a little bit too far. So let's see. Let's move that down a little bit. Let's put 4 in there. Ooh, that looks good. That one looks good. It goes through the middle of all the points. For the most part, it looks like it's good. I just want to point out, you could put like 4.1x and press graph. I think that one's a little high. Any of these will work though, but I'll go over here and let me put 4x. I like this one. So how do you, well, first off, my equation would be, let's see if I can get rid of this for a sec. My equation is going to be y equals 4x. And how do I know that it's the best equation for the trend line? It goes through most of the points. Now, the reason why we do this now, they gave us this data, and this is an average, a prediction. It says, based on the equation of the trend line, estimate the number of miles if 20 gallons of gasoline were used. Well, if I go up here, first off, gasoline is what? Gasoline is what's in the Y2, which is, this is my X, this is my Y. So I'm going to go down here, and I'm going to look and see where X and Y, where Y is 20. Now, let me point out something. You cannot go up in here and use 20 here and think that this is the number, this is the right answer. See, because I know that there's 2 of them that are the same, and it might be it. You don't know, but we need to go down to the calculator and go find out. So let's go down here. Whoop, where are we at here? I'm going to go second graph, and oh, my table is on a 0.5. So we'll go second window. I'm going to put in there 0. And whoop, what happened to my pen here? Second graph. All right, where y is 20. In this case, it does end up being 5. So right here, my y, whoop, Where's my pen here? Ends up being 5. All right. So now let me ask another question. What does the slope of this line mean? Remember, we have, when we talk about the meanings of slope, we write y per x. Okay, well, what's going on up here? Y is the gallons per mile. Okay, so my y is gallons, so my slope is going to be the gallons per mile. Here's the next one. All right, let's put all this in the calculator and see if we can come up with it. So let's see. I'm going to go to the calculator. Let's clear our memory. Second plus 7, 1, 2. Let's start fresh. So I'm going to go to y, or not y equals. I'm going to go to stat. Look, stat, and enter. And let's put our points into L1 and L2. This right here is going to go into L1. This is going into L2. This is going to be my x. This is going to be my y. Okay, calculator. There we go. 5, enter. 2, enter. 0, 1, 8, 3, 0, 1, 4, 3, 6, 7, 9, and 10. An arrow over. Let's do those test scores. 60, 74, 84, 79, 40, 61, 98, 90, 50, 70, 45, 30, 20, and 15. Make sure you have, enter. Make sure you have even amount of numbers. Now, remember, if I press graph, I don't see anything. So I have to go second y equals, enter, enter. Turn on your stat plot. Now when I graph it, I still don't see anything. All right, the easy way to do it is press zoom and 9, and it will give me my correlation. What type of correlation does it have? From left to right, it's going down. That's a negative correlation. Now I'm going to press window right here. There are my window settings. Remember, it was zoom 9. So let me go up here. I've got, zoom 9 gave me my window settings. My x minimum is negative 1. The maximum was 1. All right, let's pull this up and look at it again. Here we go. See, negative 1, 11, and 1. Good. Y minimum, point. Oh, where'd it go? I didn't even see it. Was that 0.89 and 112.11. Okay. That's one of the ways you can find your minimums and maximums. Another way, if you look at it, x minimum. What is the smallest x number we use here? It's 0. So a number smaller than 0 is negative 1. X maximum. What's the largest x? It's a 10. A number larger than 10, 11. That's where that's coming from. My x scales, we're just leaving that at 1. That's saying that my tick marks, that what it's going by on the bottom is 1. So now we've got y minimum. What's my smallest y number right here? Well, it's 15. It could be any number smaller than 15. I probably would use 0. Y maximum, the largest y number. Where is it? 98. I would probably go up to 100. Okay. Either one of these is good. How do you determine your window settings? I can press zoom 9 or look for smallest and largest number. What type of correlation? We said that there was a negative correlation. Remember, just for in case some of y'all forgot, when I pressed graph right here, look, it's going down. Next, find the equation. All right, we're going to use the estimates or the steps we used on the last one. So I'm going to start with, remember, you're going to start with the linear parent function. What is that again? Come on now, linear parent function, y equals x. You got to have that memorized. So we're going to go down here. I'm going to put in there y equals x and press graph. Oh man. Okay, it's way, 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 way down here. So the first thing our step said to do is to change the y-intercept. Right now the y-intercept is 0. So let's put plus 20. Let's see what happens. Oh, it's slowly moving up there. Let's move up a little bit more. Let's put plus, I don't know, let's try 50. Getting closer. What do you think? Plus 90? Closer, but wait a minute. My line is going up. I need it to go down. How do you make something go down? What does your slope have to be? Oh, you're a genius. You have to be negative. So let's try just a negative 1x and see what happens. Oh, that's not bad. Well, actually, that's a lie. It's way up here. I need to make it go down more. Am I trying to make it steeper or am I trying to make it flatter? Remember, flatter is close to 0. Steeper is when the larger the slope, the steeper the line. Okay, so in here, I'm going to put in there, let's see, second insert. It was the quick way to put in a number. Let's try 5. Oh, it's getting closer. I'll go back in here. Let's try 9. Ooh, that's not bad. Let's try moving the y-intercept up. Oh, going too far. 95. How about that? That's not bad. I'm going to go over here and try. People are like, well, how are you finding these numbers? Literally, I mean, we're just guessing. Ooh, that's not bad. I wonder if I can make it a little bit better. I mean, really, that would be a good answer. That would be okay. I could put in there, I just want to point out, though, that you could have decimals. $9.3. Not bad. 9.1. Not bad. What if I did, let's try 8.6. Ooh, I like that one. Now, did you find a better one when you were playing? Did you playing around with it? Did you see one that was maybe a little bit better? Mine doesn't have to be, oh wait, where'd it go? It's not the only, it's not just, I mean, it's not like everybody has to come up with this answer and only this answer. Anything that's close to something like this, that when you press graph, goes to the middle of the points, is a good answer. So I'm going to write y equals negative 8.6x plus 93. Whatever your equation is, you have it written down. Now the next thing says, based on the equation of your trend line, estimate the test grade for somebody who missed 11 days of algebra. Okay, days is my x. So I'm going to look in here where x is 11. So let's find my calculator. I've already got my equation in there. Go second graph. Go down here to where it's at 11. And it's negative 1.6. Well, let's think about that for a minute. Remember, this is the days you miss, and this is your grade. I mean, is that even reasonable? That if you miss, you can get a negative 1.6 on there? No, but that's what our data is saying, is that you really won't be able to do well because you missed too many days. Based on this information, what conclusion can you make about your absences in algebra and your test grade? Well, what happens the more you miss class? The more you miss algebra, what happens to your grades? The lower your grade. Now, can you go in there and tell me, let's add another one in there. What does the slope of the line mean? What are you supposed to do? Well, think about it. Remember, I told you to start off with y per x. What is the X and Y? X is the number of absences. Y is the test score. It is your test score per absence. I didn't even spell that right, did I? Let's see. ABSEN. ABS. Woo! SENCES. Okay. This is just an extra thing. Next, here's another one. It's talking about use the data at the right to show the grams of fat and the calories of certain fast food meals. Okay? And it wants you to estimate the number of calories for a fast food meal with 22 grams of fat. So let's go in our calculator. Before we start, remember I told you, clear your memory so you can clear out everything you've done. Second plus 712. Okay, you're going to go to Stat and enter. Put the fat into L1. 6, 7, 10, 19, 20, 25, 27, 36, 15. Go to L2, 276, 260, 300, 388, 430, 420, 550, 633, 350. Okay, now you put them in L1 and L2, but I press graph and you don't see anything. Turn on your stat plot. Second y equals, enter, enter. Press graph. Still don't see anything. That's because my window settings. Now press zoom 9, and there's my graph. What type of correlation does this have? You betcha it's a positive because from left to right it's going up. Okay, so now to find your window settings too, let's see, let me go in here and fill it. Let's fill out what we have so far. I know that this is positive. To find your window settings, I'm going to press window, and I've got 3, 39, and 1. Let me pull that back up for you. Okay. Then I have 196. Uh-oh, missed that. 0.59. Now let's see if I can look at the next one. 696.41. 696.41. And, oops, that's 1. All right. Let me put that up there. There's my window settings. Now, the trend line for the equation. Remember, you're supposed to start with the linear parent function. What is that? I go to y equals, put in there y equals x. Press graph. Man, I don't even see this. Step 1 says to change the y-intercept. Well, all these numbers are in the y are big. So let's see, what's the smallest y number we have? 260. Let's try plus 200. Why am I trying 200? Just because I'm guessing. I just know I got to get up there close. Oh, okay, not too bad. But look, my line is pretty flat. I need to make it steeper. How do you make it steeper? You make the slope larger. So let's try 5. Oh, it's getting a little steeper, but I need it even more. So I need a number bigger than 5. Let's try 9. Not too bad. Let's go back. Let's try, let's see. How about, oh, what happened? Let's try 11. Ooh, that one is pretty darn good. But we can do other things too. Let's see, what if I made it 10? Let's see if things look pretty good. Don't really like that one. Are any of these wrong? Neither one of them are wrong. They both would be good predictors. You can use either one that you want to. I'm going to go ahead and stick with this one. So for my equation, we're going to go in here and write my equation. My trend line is y equals 11x plus 200. There's my trend line. So now the next question says, predict the number of calories in a fast food meal that has 22 grams of fat. Well, first off, where are the calories or the grams of fat? Is right here in the X column. So we're going to go over here, and I'm going to go and I'm going to put 22 in the X column. So now I'm going to go and look at my table, and I'm going to press second window, and I'm going to go down to where X is 22. Oh, stop. There we go. And Y is 442. So that's saying that, this is saying, okay, remember this is X and Y. That's saying that a meal that has 22 grams of fat will have 442 calories. And then it says, based on the conclusion, or based on the data, what conclusion can you draw about calories and fat in fast food meals? Well, look at it. What's happening? It's all going up. So the more fat that is in your meal, the more calories are in your meal. So I'm going to write the more fat in a meal, the more calories. Oops, I didn't write more. The more calories that are in the meal. Okay, what about, let's add that other one, because you know I keep asking you, what does the slope mean in this problem? Okay, look up here again. Looking at these things, I have X and I have Y. The slope, remember, we're going to write it as Y per X. What is Y? We have calories per fat. So it's how many calories are in each ounce of fat, or gram, I'm sorry, each gram of fat. Here's the next one. Okay, here's the next one. This is going to be the last one. We're going to come up here into our calculator. Clear your memory. Second plus 712. Okay, I need to put these into L1 and L2, but what do I do? Which one goes where? Because now we're writing it in a different way. Well, it's just horizontal right here instead of vertical. I'm going to put this into L1, this into L2. So this is going to be my X, this is going to be my Y. So let's go back and find my calculator. I'm going to go down here, bring this up. Oh, maybe not up. All right, there we go. Stat. Oh, I can't do it. Okay, enter. All right, let's put in there 50. Enter. 30. 25. 20. I see that go over here. I've got 18. 16. And 14. And then in Y2, what do I have here? I've got 200, 150, 140, 130. Let's go over here. 120, 110, 100. All right, now again, if I press graph, I don't see anything. What do I need to do? Yep, I need to turn on my stat plot. Second Y equals, enter, enter. Press graph. I still don't see anything. All right, what was that magic button I could press? Zoom 9. Zoom, zoom, zoom. Uh-oh, I must have put something in wrong. What is this over here? Did I put them in wrong? Or is there just a random number over here? Oh, I sure did. Look, how do I get How'd I get, oh, I put 180. Look, that over here. So let's go down here. That's supposed to be 18. Now let's press graph. All right, now I see it. That's still kind of a crazy way of doing it. What if I did, how is my, let's see. L1, they're all positive, and the highest number it goes to is 50. So I'm going to go ahead and change mine. I'm going to go 0 and then go down here to 55. What about that? Okay, let's try and see about changing my Y numbers. My smallest one was 100. So let's go to window. Well, we can go to 90. What's my largest one? It's 200. Well, that's not far off. Yeah, I guess maybe we'll just go with the zoom 9 thing. I don't know why I'm trying to outsmart the calculator. Okay, what kind of correlation is this? From left to right, what's happening? It's going up. It's a positive correlation. So now this right here, I can write positive. And then over here, I've got window. And I've got 10.4 and 53.6. 10.4, 53.6. X scale is 1. Let's pull that calculator back up. I have 83 and 217. Let's make sure I wrote that right because they keep popping in and out. Yep, sure does. It sure is. It's okay. Now, I come down here. I want to find the trend line. Okay, what are you supposed to start with on the trend line? Well, what do I mean? I mean, when I go to y equals, what do I put in there first to start off with? Yepers. I put y equals x. I put the linear parent function. Press graph. I don't see it. Well, okay, so the first thing it says is to let's put a constant in there. Since it looks like these numbers are up, the y numbers are larger, look at the y numbers. Because I'm looking for the y-intercept at first. It's up there at 100. So let me go, and you can pick any number. Like I could put in there plus 50. I see it right here. I need a little bit higher, so let me see. Let me put in there plus 90. Not too bad. Look, it's just about there to that point. So I'm going to bring it down just a little bit. What if I did 80? Not bad. Now, do I need to make the line steeper or flatter? I need to make it steeper. I need to increase that slope. So I'm going to go in here, second insert, and put in there, let's try 5x. You know, I always seem to start with, oh, goodness gracious, that's way too high. Let's try 2. Press graph. Nah, nope. All right, let's move this y-intercept down a little bit. Let's go over here and put in there 70. That's not bad. But we need to make the line steeper now. Goodness gracious. Is it ever going to make up its mind? Nah, that's too steep. Go back to y equals. Let's put in there like 2.5x plus 70. And press graph. Not bad. Let's see, what could we do to it? Let's try and move this y-intercept down a little bit. Again, all I'm doing is just guessing. Okay. Let's make it 65. I don't like any of the numbers I'm choosing right now. Not bad. Let's make it a little steeper. What about 9? That's not bad. I mean, if you found it closer, that'd be even better. But this one will still work. So my equation for my trend line, remember, because a trend line is just an estimate, I have y equals 2.9x plus, what is it plus? 65. Now, it says, predict a heart rate for a male with a respiration of 35 breaths per minute. Well, where does the 35 go? Breaths per minute goes in the X spot. So I'm going to, come on down here. I'm going to put in there 35 right here in the X, and then my Y. So let's go in my table. Now I can go to second window, and I can go down here and hold it down until I get to 35. Or remember, I can go second window, type in 35, and press second graph. Takes me right to it. What is that? That's 166.5. 166.5. So that would be my answer. Now, you may not, if you have a different equation, you're not going to come up with the same one. Okay, and that's why the teachers have to go through and they have to double check. They have to look at your equation and go and see if that's the correct number for it. Okay, again, what is the linear parent function? Okay, so the first thing you're going to do, the linear parent function. That's y equals x. That's what you're going to put in there first. That's what you're going to start with. Then the second step is to move the y-intercept. Then third, you would change the slope. And then you would keep messing with them to try and see how you're going to make your trend line fit the best.